Hi, I'm here today with Jill Lyons, Curriculum Coordinator for O'Fallon District 90, and Nikki Hansley, a teacher in first grade. So Jill, could you share with me a little bit about what the co-interpretation model is and what it entails?
Yes. A co-interpretation is meant to be like a shared discovery of data, where you can put all sorts of viewpoints together to review all of the information that you have and say, what do we find? And so we put together a team for this purpose that had representatives from every building. There was 2 representatives from every building that we had. We had a balance of primary and intermediate at the elementary level. We had junior high, we had administration, we had 5 parents on the committee, and we had 1 board member that was also there. So we had all sorts of viewpoints. And the important thing is when we sit down to look at data, my philosophy is that data will only tell you one side of the story. That behind that number, there's always something else going on. And if I'm sitting in my office looking at it by myself, I don't know the story behind that numbers. I need to hear from the people who know it best. And so the teachers and the administrators can tell me why this data point showed up as low, or, this particular group was really strong in math that year, and the next year the scores went down, but it wasn't because we did anything differently. So you want to put together a team that knows the data best, that can really get into the why behind the story. So we had a team of people, representatives from every building and every type of voice, and we looked at all types of data. We looked at our quantitative data that we have, which is our PARCC scores, and what does that tell us? And the first thing that we did with that is we went through, and you can see back here are some of these sticky notes. Each of the groups then was divvied up a different piece of data to look at, and what did you find? What did you see in there? So they wrote their findings on sticky notes, and we went through and shared all of those. And then we went to the other type of data, the qualitative data. So we went to all of our surveys, because we sent out a survey to our staff, asking them questions in lots of different categories about professional development, about technology, about curriculum, about all sorts of things. So we had 2 groups that went through the teacher surveys to see what did you find from the teacher voices. What are they saying about professional development? What are they saying about technology? What are they saying about math curriculum? We had 2 groups that went through the student surveys, because we did a survey with all 3rd through 8th grade students, and I had over 1,900 responses. It was a lot to dig through, but we went through that, and they divvied those up. And what are the students saying about math? What are the students saying about reading? What are the students saying about technology, and what do they like or don't like? And then we had another group that went through our parent survey. So we surveyed the parents, and we had over 500 responses from that. So I was hoping for about 600, but we got a pretty good number in there. So we went through, what are the parents saying about math and reading and homework, and how are their children being challenged in technology? So every group had a different survey to look at. And they went through and wrote all of their findings, and then we sorted them into buckets, categories, and we put them all together. Each sticky note went into the same bucket, and then groups came back together to identify what's the pattern from all the voices. So the sticky notes are different colors for reasons, because I could look at it and say the teachers are saying this on the green sticky notes. The parents are saying this, the students are saying this. So then groups went through all of those sticky notes in that bucket and said, what's the pattern? And they pulled out what we call a key finding. And so what are the things that we're hearing over and over from different folks? So we put a key finding down in each of those buckets, and that's then what's written on the chart. And then the group was then asked, they were given a vote, and they were each given 3 red votes and 2 green votes. 2 things that they saw as positive things that are happening, and 3 things that are a challenge in the district. And so they all got to vote on the charts. And so then from there, we are going to be able to prioritize our needs and focus for curriculum. So.
Wow, very exciting. Mrs. Hansley.
It was.
How was that as a teacher to be a part of that?
I think the mix of people was awesome. Having elementary, junior high, the board member, parent. I think seeing the surveys and how many things actually cross over things that we're looking for, things that are good, things that we think need improvement. The kids were seeing some of the same things, the parents were seeing it, so I think it shows that we're all on the same page at what we want to maybe improve or look at, and I think it was nice too, especially as a young elementary teacher, to see the park scores, because there was a little discussion too about, you know, just everything that we can do to kind of build those, was that part of the data. So it was very intriguing, the whole process.
So you've got all this information, now what?
That is the big question, isn't it? What we will do from here is we'll be able to take our priorities based on the votes and identify where we need to start, and where are we going to go next. So from here, we're going to be sharing all of this information with the staff on January 3rd, so that everybody knows and understands what the plan is. So from here, we'll be able to put together a 3 to 5 year plan for curriculum and where we're going to be focusing. So January 3rd, everybody will get a chance to hear what that is. I know they're on the edge of their seats. And then from there, we'll start putting together our leadership teams for each subject area and identifying priorities for each of those subject areas, so we can get some things started and start moving along.
How do I become a part of a leadership team?
I'll be sending out some forms after January 3rd, asking for people who are interested to be on the teams. And again, we'll be looking for a cross-section, a representation from every building and cross-representations from the grade levels, so that if you're a part of that team, we'll be working together to develop curriculum. We'll be learning about best practices in those areas. And then the role of those teams are also to take that back to your building. That then you are truly developing teacher leadership, because then your role will be to take that back to your building and share what's happening, so that there are no surprises at the end of the process. That everybody's been informed and a part of the dialogue all along while we're developing things.
Very interesting and very good things coming for District 90.
I'm excited, very excited.
Yeah, very
I
good.
think so. We have a clear plan, coming up with one. It's very exciting.